Alright everyone, welcome to Friday's video, and we are firmly looking ahead now to Celtic's final match before yet another international break. I promise no mentions of Tuesday night, probably not, maybe. Certainly no mention of that team that thumped us. It's all eyes forward. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I am more than happy to move ahead from Tuesday at this stage. It was a totally grim night, but personally I feel like the team's performances so far this season and the tail end of last season have kind of earned them the opportunity to put things right. Now, what I would say is that they can probably only partly do that against Ross County, because we all know how this goes over the last few years. Celtic struggle in Europe. We return and are completely dominant domestically. And I think we're all, as much as we love the domestic success, we're all a bit fed up of being flat track bullies, let's just say. Maybe that's harsh, I don't know. But we're all looking forward now, and the team have a chance to get back to winning ways on Sunday and obviously take us into yet another international break and make us feel good about ourselves. Yeah, it's a must-win to stay at the top of the league with Aberdeen playing so well. We may well see some changes to the team we field on Sunday. I'll give you my predicted 11 later on. One player who has a doubt for the match is Alistair Johnston. He's been left out of the Canada setup for their upcoming match against Panama in 10 days or so. Their manager Jesse Marsh said Alistair Johnston and midfielder Ismail Kone are both rehabbing injuries. It's back and ankle injuries for them. We know that Alistair Johnston has had a back issue in recent weeks. I think Brendan Rodgers has spoken about that. This could well just be a precaution for the international break. It may just be that the Celtic feel that he's best not going away, given that he's kind of nursing an issue, or this could mean that we don't see him on Sunday. And I'd say that's probably the most likely scenario, without knowing for sure until Brendan Rodgers speaks later today. If Johnson doesn't make it, we'll have Anthony Ralston at Dingwall. Anthony Ralston at Dingwall. Now, in yesterday's video, which you can check out, it's linked at the top of the screen, Stevie brought up our record after these European shockers. And just to get it all down on the screen, this is what we've had previously. So after the Barcelona 7-0 in 2016, we went up to the Highlands actually in our next game, but to play Inverness Caledonian Thistle, we drew 2-2. One of the few matches we didn't win during the Invincible season domestically. After PSG battered us 5-0 in Glasgow, we actually beat Ross County 4-0, but that was at Celtic Park. After the second PSG mauling 7-1 this time, we rebounded to beat Motherwell 2-0 in the League Cup final. And last season, when Atletico Madrid beat us 6-0, we returned back to Scotland and got our own 6-0 against Aberdeen. So the last three times that we've had these European shockers, the team have returned back to domestic matters and kind of picked up where they left off. So hopefully that's going to be the case again on Sunday. But what about our opposition, Ross County, and what about our final match before the international break? We face the long trip north on Sunday to Dingwall, all the way up there for the lunchtime kickoff. It's always a great game, great atmosphere. I enjoy going there. I've only been once as a fan, but it's always a great trip up there. Now, Peter Mackay is a journalist and a Ross County fan, and I'm delighted to say he joins us right now to offer a little bit of insight on his team. Now, Peter, tell us how things are going for County this season. They seem to be pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think any County fans will have any complaints at the moment. Obviously, the past two seasons have been tough for us, finishing 11th place in the playoffs. But I think this season we're showing enough at the moment that we might be able to, avoid that relegation battle. We've made some really good, impressive signings, in my opinion, and I think the football that Don Cowie's got us playing looks pretty good as well. So yeah, pretty positive things in Dingwall at the moment, I would say.
Good stuff. Is he quite liked, Don Cowie? Do you think he's potentially a really good manager?
I would say so. Yeah, I think it definitely helps the fact that he's kind of already a club legend, kind of stepping into the role. But I mean, so far he's shown adaptability and, like I said, good summer business. And our form at home has been unbelievable. Really, I think I'd be right in saying we've only lost one game at home in the last 13 we've played there, which is a really good record. And that includes wins over Rangers, Hibs, Hearts. So we've taken some really impressive results at home. Away form, definitely to work on that. It has been over a year since we went away from home. But the less said about that, the better.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I was looking because you've conceded a lot of late goals recently. You should have beaten Hearts away from home last weekend, but conceded late. Aberdeen scored really late against you, so you're seventh in the table, but you could be higher if you held on in those games.
100%. Yeah, I think it's quite infuriating, when conceding those late goals. But to be fair, on the flip side of that, we've been involved in a couple of late ones ourselves against Dundee United. Ronan Hale scored late on to claw back a point, and we were 3-1 down against St Johnston a few weeks ago and managed to come back and equalise that 3-3 in the 97th minute as well. So we're quite an entertaining team to watch this season, I would say. We do enjoy a late goal at either end.
Quite like to play football, am I right in saying that? Because I remember the only time I think I've probably seen County play recently was the one when you beat Rangers, and you really passed the ball in that game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the good thing about, even when it comes to these big games, we don't necessarily change the mantra wholeheartedly. Obviously, you have to sit off and play a bit deeper. But I think that's really key, is that Don, he's done his experimenting in a way last season, and I think we know what works now when it comes to these games. And I think it's good to see us playing football in these games, because not only it makes for a better game, but I think it gives you a better chance of winning as well. I think teams that end up going into these backs to the wall, 5-5-0, if you will, it never normally ends well. So I think if you go out and attack, then I think that's the best way to try and get a result against teams like yourselves.
Cool. In terms of players who've impressed you this season, who should we look out for?
There's a few, I would say, all new signings. I'm going to mention three here. I think first and foremost, Akil Wright, a new central defender. He signed from Stockport County, and he's probably been my player of the season so far. He's been excellent, just a real dominant centre half, proper athlete, and really comfortable on the ball as well. Barring the loss to Rangers in that 6-0 at Hampden, he's probably been man of the match most games, really commands the defence and just looks really strong, and has chipped in with quite a lot of goals already as well from set pieces, which was very important. Into midfield, obviously, Hamish, you're in Australia now, so you'll know about Josh Nisbet.
Oh, I forgot about him. I forgot you'd signed him.
Yeah. So
See, he was at Central Coast Mariners here, and I watched him a bit. Tiny. Absolutely tiny.
Really small.
How's he got on?
Really good so far. He's impressed. Obviously, it was quite a signing late on in the window, so he arrived quite late, kind of without a pre-season and things like that. But it doesn't seem to have impacted him. Just his technical ability on the ball and his ability to kind of keep the ball and win fouls is something that we didn't have until he arrived. He's just completely different, and I think it's quite easy in Scotland to, a lot of people look at his height and go, oh, how could he be playing at this level, But he really has proven a lot of people wrong already. And yeah, he's just a really exciting player, and he's one of those ones I watch him. It's a bit like Jan Danda when he first broke into the team last season. I was kind of like, not sure how we've managed to end up with this with a player this good, but I think
it's hell of a signing, because he was like a kind of top player. I mean, Central Coast Mariners won the treble last season, I think, in Australia, and he's was probably one of their best players. So it was a hell of a signing for County.
Yeah, I believe he was actually, I think he was A-League Player of the Year last year, and I'm not sure if that was the official one, but he was certainly one of them, and we've managed to get him on a 3-year deal as well. So, whether he sees that out, that would be amazing. But if not, then I think we could be looking at a decent transfer sum for him if he continues his good form.
Was there another player?
Yeah, I would say Ronan Hale as well.
Right.
We signed him from Cliftonville, so he was kind of signed as the Simon Murray replacement, if you will. Not quite hitting those numbers just yet, but so far it looks like eventually he might actually get there. Very similar mould to Simon Murray in that he's always offering for the ball, looking to play forwards. Bit of a nuisance up top, hassling defenders, quick, always running. And a real natural finisher. I'm not sure if you saw his goal against Hearts at the weekend, but as a proper, I would say probably our goal of the season so far, a really, really good finish from outside the box. And that's I think his sixth goal this season in all competitions. So really, he has filled the void, I would say, for Simon Murray leaving. And if we're gonna score a goal against us at the weekend, then I'd probably, if I was a betting man, I'd be putting my money on Ronan Hale, I think. And he's a big Celtic fan as well, so I'm sure he'll be looking to impress.
Okay, so you seem like you're in a pretty good place. We're obviously, domestically, we've been sensational this season, but Tuesday night was not great, let's just say. So are you, any part of you fancying a wee upset on Sunday?
I wouldn't say fancying it, but as I mentioned, our home form, I think maybe you never know. I think obviously, as I mentioned, we did beat Rangers, and that was last season. For the first time in our history. So these things can happen. It's happened before. We've caused upsets for Celtic, but I just think, as you said, domestically, I think these are hard to touch at the moment. I think if anything was to come of it, it probably would be a sort of hangover from Tuesday. But in my opinion, I think you'll just be looking to right those wrongs, and I think us coming up next after that is probably a bad thing for us, if anything, I would say.
Anything else ahead of the game? Anything on your mind? Anything county fans are chatting about?
I think worrying me, I would say, is George Harmon being out. So he's our starting left wing back, and Eli Campbell, who's on loan from Everton, has been filling in there, but he's a natural centre half, so kind of playing left wing back, it doesn't offer us much attacking outlet. And obviously, coming up against yourselves, let's be honest, we're probably going to be not doing much attacking. But I think it's a bit of a concern when I don't think many county fans would be wrong in saying that we'd much rather have Harmon playing there because he does offer that attacking threat. But I mean, as I said, I think that's the only thing. I think it's pretty positive so far, but you never know. That could all change after Sunday, but fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's hope it's a good game anyway. Peter, thanks so much for chatting to us.
No, thank you for having me on, Hamish. It's been great.
Great stuff. Right, we'll move on to our predicted 11. This is what I'm going for. Yeah, I should probably actually rename this to like Hamish's team or something like that, because I'm not actually sure we'll see all of this team, but this is what I would like to see. So obviously Kasper Schmeichel in goals. I'm going for a back four of Anthony Ralston, who I think will come in for Alistair Johnston. Austin Trusty and Liam Scales will continue at the back, I would think. And I've put Alex Valle in at left back. Now, we'll need to find out what the situation is with Greg Taylor. We should get an indication later from Brendan Rodgers. He went off at half-time on Tuesday. So I think Valle looked quite good as well in the second half, albeit that Dortmund probably weren't playing at the same level, same intensity as the first half. But it feels like a game for Alex Valle to go and show his worth, basically. But I just wonder if, given the way the Falkirk game went and the fact it's quite an unsettled defence as it is with Ralston, and obviously like Trusty and Scales haven't played a lot together, we're still going to be missing Carter Vickers. I think if Taylor's fit, Taylor will play. I would personally go for Alex Valle for this one. Midfield, again, interesting. Callum McGregor, Arnie Engels are going to be in my team every week. And I think to repeat what I said about Valle, it feels like a game for Luke McCowan. To me, I really want to see more of Luke McCowan. I think he's looked really good from the kind of limited minutes that he's played so far. And I just get the impression on that pretty good pitch at Ross County, against that kind of team, I think he could be he could put in quite a good performance, basically. And I think it just feels like a kind of Luke McCowan game, really good first touch, tight spaces, all that kind of stuff. And I think he's earned it, to be honest. I'm not going to be outraged if Paulo Bernardo starts, of course. Rio Hatate, there's a fair argument he could come in as well. I think Hatate might come in the actual team, but my team, I'm going for McCowan alongside Engels and McGregor. Two wingers the same, Nicholas Kuhn, Dies and Maida. Maybe there's an argument for someone like James Forrest to come in, I don't know, but I would go with Kuhn and Maida, and Adam Ida up front. I think he also deserves this start. And I actually think Adam Ida will start this game, and I think he'll score as well. So you can let me know what you think of that team. As I keep saying, we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers later on Friday. It'll be interesting, obviously, to hear the latest on several players, because we do have a few fitness concerns at the moment, but also to hear what Brendan Rodgers thinks a few days on from you-know-what. So that'll be good. The good thing, I guess, as the Celtic support head miles north again, is that the team have a chance to make us all feel a bit better going into the international break. It's been a great season so far. Tuesday was the first hiccup. It was more than a hiccup. And I know we all want Celtic to be measured at Champions League level, and I think we're totally right to feel that way. But we still do feel good when we're battering Scottish teams. Last Saturday, how good did we all feel when we were putting 6 past St Johnstone? So as much as I do think Scottish football is not where Celtic should really be judged this season, as much as I still want us to win the 3 trophies, you can't be seeing Celtic scoring goals for fun. It's a good morale booster, I guess, is the way I would explain it for both the team and the support. So hopefully we see a bit of that on Sunday. I think it's going to be a tough game though. Just before we go, it would be remiss of me not to mention the new clothing range Celtic launched yesterday via Mikael Lustig, interestingly. Taken from the website, it reads, the new Adidas Originals X Celtic FC collection is now released, featuring bold, nostalgic pieces, perfect for those who want to stand out on a match day. Some nice stuff there as well. Modelled by none other than Celtic icon Mikael Lustig himself, the range features retro-inspired fits and striking 3-stripe designs with tops, hoodies and tracksuits to choose from. I really like some of that stuff. Some of the other stuff I'm not as keen on, but I'm definitely going to be purchasing that at some stage. Maybe when Celtic start not falling apart in European matches. Anyway, that'll do us for now. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, enjoy your Saturday, and I will return alongside John shortly after full time on Sunday.